And welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Shed. My name is Adam, and again with me this week, a man who once told a woman that if she Twittered his Yahoo, he'd Google on her Facebook, Jake, how you doing?
I've heard that one 20,000 times.
Well,
I'm a little bit disappointed.
20,001 times.
It's hilarious, he says. I've read it on Facebook 25,000 times just this week.
Just this week?
Just this week, dude.
Oh, man.
I spend a lot of time on Facebook.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I guess.
So how you been, man?
Good. I finally got wheels.
Yes.
I don't think I mentioned it in the last episode, but I sold my wheels to a buddy who needed the car, and I finally found wheels today. I'm very, very excited. I'm going to pick up my new Saab, new to me Saab, next week. No, sorry, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, now I'm pushing
You're
it
getting
further
fucking
ahead.
carried away, Jake.
You said I'm behind on the beers. I disagree.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, other than that, though, same old, same old?
Oh, yeah, same old shit.
Yep.
Doing my job, going to work, podcast stuff, same shit, different day.
Yep.
What about you?
Same here.
How's the new job going?
Great.
Good.
Great. Good people, good place.
Learning a lot?
Learning a lot, working hard. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's all good.
You remember going back to work for 50, 60 hours a week now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit of a different type of a story.
I have been looking forward to this story for a long time because it's not people dying. maybe figuratively, like when they showed up, they were like, oh my God, I'm going to die. But not literally. This is really exciting. I'm not even going to tell you what it is because you're trying to skip the beer review again.
No. I wasn't thinking about skipping it. I was just saying it was something a little bit different.
I am excited for this one. I really cannot tell you how excited I am.
And as far as people dying, I'm sure some of them died inside a little bit after
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I said, they showed up and they're like, oh my God,
but
what the fuck did I just do?
Today we're drinking another great beer.
Baxter Brewing.
Baxter Brewing in Lewiston, Maine. Today we've got...
Maine Lager. Yeah. Craft brewed in Maine. You said I'm falling behind, man. The one white trash brew I had all week really put me behind.
I'll tell you what, they set you back.
I know, they really do.
You got to stick to this homegrown Lewiston stuff. I'm giving this one a solid 4 Scully fingers. It is delicious.
I really like this one. I'm not going to lie. I just wish that Baxter sold stuff in glass versus cans. That's like literally my only complaint.
I know. Maybe we should let them know.
Are you listening?
Are you guys here?
Are you guys here? Are you listening?
Are you listening?
All I want is glass bottles.
Some glass. Come on.
Please.
I
should have brought you that box of glasses I had.
Dude, I got to say, though, this is a beautiful can.
It really is.
You got a guy fly fishing in a brook. Can't beat it. That's summer here. And I'll tell you what, this is the warmest day in the shed so far. So perfect time to be drinking this delicious beer.
It's so warm that if you step outside the shed right now, you're going to drown.
Yeah.
There's like a little ocean forming outside the door.
We're almost like our own little island in the Bahamas.
Yeah, when you think about it.
Almost.
But the water's not blue. It's kind of muddy and there's snow all around it.
Yeah. Well, we can always pretend.
Yeah, exactly. At least it's draining out the other side of the shed.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to report, but I think Dino died in a flood.
Yeah, right. We didn't get any FEMA tents or any of that set up for him.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right. All right.
So, Jake, why don't you tell us what we're doing this week?
Well, I can, but I'm going to give this beer 4 first. Yeah. Just because it's not glass, but just a personal preference. Sorry.
Yeah, but you can drink their Stowaway IPA in any way, though. Those are delicious.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Adam, why don't you tell us what we're talking about this week?
All right. We're doing... Drum roll, please.
Oh, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Stall. Do. Yeah, that's not correct.
The 2017 Fyre Festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jake, what is this?
It's about as exciting as that game. What is it called? Game winner noise?
Yeah.
Like, that was the most exciting thing about the entire festival.
If that's the case, turn this podcast off right now.
No, okay. I take that back. That's not what I meant. If you had gone there, you would agree that hearing that noise is probably the most exciting thing to happen in that entire debacle.
Sure. So where do we start with this?
So the Fyre Festival was designed originally to promote an app called Fyre. It was going to connect people with artists. So let's say, for example, I don't know why you'd want this, but you want Kid Rock to come play at your son's birthday.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck you would want that to start, number one, but if you want it, this app is designed to help you make that happen. So it was designed kind of like Tinder, where you would find an artist, you would make them, I know, right? Weird. Yeah. You would find an artist, make them an offer, and the artist would get the offer, and then they could accept it, or decline it. And if they accepted it, congratulations, you have Kid Rock at your 13-year-old's birthday party for whatever dumb reason.
Yeah, right. That's kind of weird. I mean, but you know what? We're not rich, so we can't really wrap our minds around throwing away money like that.
Yeah, no. Can you imagine what you'd have to offer these people to play private events?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, think of all the money they make doing public events. Private, more money, please.
Of course. Got to meet their demands
Right,
and all that.
and you really can't blame them.
Now, was any of this successful?
Well, no. Not really.
Not really. Yeah.
I haven't seen the app on any of the app stores, but to be honest, I haven't really looked all that hard.
Well, I tried to look just on my Android phone. And
you need to grow the fuck up.
I even looked on. I looked on the MacBook to see what it could find.
When are you going to get an iPhone?
I know.
It's time. Just grow up.
So where are we at?
Okay, so this app was designed to help with that. Like I said, in order to promote the app, the creator, who also founded a small credit card company that we'll talk about later, wanted to throw a big festival. Called it the Fyre Festival. He meets up with famous rapper Ja Rule, and they start promoting this festival, and it flops fucking hard. Really, really, really hard. It is a disaster.
Right.
Right.
So basically, I guess the best place to take this would be maybe some of the earlier stuff that the original founder, Billy, was it McFarlane? McFarlane, yeah.
Don't be confused with Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
Because he actually is successful. This other guy is successful in the sense that he went to jail for his crimes. So I guess you could say he succeeded doing something.
But you know what, though? They say Billy was, even at an early age, showed signs of success.
Yeah, he was very entrepreneurial. I guess that's how you would say it.
Even as a kid, he started a crayon repair business.
Yeah, go figure, right? I guess a girl in his class broke her crayon. And he's like, oh, I'll fix that for you. And he charged her like $1 or whatever it was. It wasn't much.
Yeah.
And then he started fixing other kids' crayons. It was kind of crazy. By the time he was 13, though, you know what's even crazier? He was 13 years old, and he had a job outsourcing startups and match clients with web designers. He had 3 people working for him in India.
I couldn't even
13 years old.
Imagine doing that right now.
No. Can you imagine being 13 and doing that?
It's crazy.
Later on, though, he went to college, and he dropped out. Kind of weird, right?
Yeah, but you hear that a lot with these kind of people like
right.
that.
Well, look at like Bill Gates.
It's almost
like
they're
Jobs.
bored or something.
Right, exactly. It almost seems like education kind of holds them back in a way.
Yeah.
So he drops out of school and he tries to launch an app called Spling, or a service called Spling, and it was kind of like Google Plus, but it fucking flopped.
Sure.
Nobody wants to be on that. We already got Facebook. You know what I mean?
There's
we don't
all
need
these
nothing
other
else.
forums. Sure.
Right. So fast forward a couple years. By the way, the time that all this stuff is going down with like the festival and whatever, he's my age.
Yeah, he's
my
young.
age.
Yeah.
He's like 2 years older than me.
And so really I think what you're trying to tell the listeners now is that
This guy's smart.
this guy, I mean, all this with this thing that's kind of like Google Plus, this is all while he's like a teenager.
Yeah, it's all when he's super young. So his first noteworthy venture was the company that we had mentioned earlier called Magnesis. He launched it in 2014. He was at dinner or something. I remember hearing this in one of the documentaries we watched about this. There's 2 documentaries, by the way. There's one on Hulu and there's one on Netflix. The one on Netflix is called Fyre Fraud.
I think so, yeah. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good one. The one on Hulu I preferred just because it actually they got to talk to him. That was what was really interesting to me. But I forget what that one's called. Anyway, so he's out to dinner or something. Everyone's pulling out their credit cards and they all look the same. They don't really give anybody any benefits. So he's like, what if I made a card that was able to give you like benefits in town?
Yeah, because
like, it would
the
get you
thing
into
is that
clubs and stuff.
regular credit cards, they give like percentage benefits and stuff.
Right.
This credit card, from what I understand, gave exclusive benefits.
Right. It gave you like different access to different
Concerts,
different
sporting
events. You had 24/7 concierge.
And they were made out of metal.
Right. The first one that he made was really interesting. He got a flat piece of metal and he took a magnetic strip and found a way to copy his information off of his credit or debit card, whatever he used. And he put it on this piece of metal and he went to the store and tried to buy something real small. And he was like, holy fuck, it worked. And then he went and tried something else and it worked again. He goes, I found a way to make this card happen. So he makes this happen. It's really big, whatever. No, up. Adam's scrolling the wrong way. So the company aspired to be a millennial version of the American Express Black Card, But it was also that elite membership, like we talked about. It get you into certain events and whatever. Members had to pay $250 for a card.
Which isn't, I mean, you know what? It's an annual fee, which a lot of credit cards have.
Right.
250 is quite a bit, but if you live in these, these areas where this had, I guess, a lot of backing, like New York City, for instance.
Right.
If you live there, you pay the $250, and then you enjoyed all this stuff all year.
Oh,
then
yeah,
it's worth it. But you would find, I would imagine that the majority of the American people probably
wouldn't benefit all that much.
What do I give a shit about fucking cheaper tickets to Blink-182 in Boston right now? I don't give a shit. I would use it like once a year. So,
you hurt my feelings. I kind of like Blink-182.
I'm just saying. But hey, this is cool because this guy came up with this idea in his early 20s.
Right, and it was a way cooler looking credit card than what I got. I'll be honest with you. No one likes the purple Discover card. So, fast forward 2019. Billy meets Ja Rule.
I think
the first time.
2015.
Yeah, 2015. That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said 2019.
Oh, maybe I did. Can we back up and find out? No, we're recording.
You'll find out tomorrow.
That's right. And the price is right. So in 2015, Billy meets Ja Rule for the first time. He attempted to book him for an event. The story, Billy told the story at the Web Summit in 2016. It's literally called the Web Summit.
Yeah, I saw pictures of it.
Billy had to go through different people to try to get in touch with him. When they finally got in touch, they bonded over their love of small airplanes and hip-hop. So Billy was really into flying, going on vacation, and apparently was trying to be a rap. I don't know if he was trying to be a rapper, but he liked hip-hop.
You know what was funny about that is this guy said, I can bring you Ja Rule. Give me $500.
Really?
So he gives the guy $500.
Yeah.
And then he brings him another guy and says, I can find you Ja Rule, but you got to give me $1,000. Yeah, there's something like that. Yeah.
That's fucked. So they bonded. They became friends. Billy decides to make Ja Rule a celebrity ambassador for his credit card company, Magnesis.
Now, is that just somebody that's on the commercials, or?
I'm pretty sure it's like a popular face to the company. It helps make public relations better. I'm not quite sure how that works. So if anyone knows and I'm sounding like an idiot, email us.
No, man, that would make sense because at that time he was super popular.
Right.
So yeah, I could see that.
So a former employee for Magnesis who was featured in the Hulu documentary Fyre Fraud, so maybe they're both Fyre Fraud. Anyway, whatever. She said that Ja Rule had nothing to do with the business side of the company, so that must be what he was, just the public face, He
was just the face, and they probably were hanging out a lot, I'd imagine, becoming friends. That's probably what Billy really wanted. Yeah,
well, if you're a young, successful business person, you want to meet all the I guess the what would you even call that? He's not. I wouldn't really call him an icon.
Well, he
but
wanted
I wouldn't
to meet a certain
call him
status.
an icon either.
He drove. Yeah. I think he drove a Maserati, and he was looking for a certain status kind of look.
Quick story on a Maserati. It's not like a big story, but when I was growing up in the old neighborhood, there used to be an apartment complex, and in that apartment complex, there was this person who owned like the nicest brand new Maserati. Drove it all year long through the snow, and just. I don't know where the fuck you had this money. This was Section 8 housing.
Yeah, really?
Crazy, dude.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
Maybe work for Magnesis.
Maybe. Or doing something else that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, right.
Crime.
So where does this take us? About early 2016?
Yep. So they spend 2015 bonding, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
In 2016, great. Yeah, right. In 2016, after the credit card company had closed, they were going under. Billy creates the Fyre app and Fyre Media. Fyre Media was the company that owned Fyre.
So this is kind of where everything starts to take place.
Yep. The app was supposed to be like Tinder, like we talked about. It would put people in touch with artists, give them an offer, blah, 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 blah. So Billy and Ja Rule fly from New York to the Bahamas with their plane, and it runs out of gas. So they land in the what does that say?
Great Exumas.
The Great Exumas?
Yeah, okay. I think it's an island chain there.
Yeah, it's a group of islands in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Both of them fell in love with the islands, and they're crushed with the islands. They were like totally infatuated with these islands, and to be fair, they're beautiful.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It led them to launch a website and a marketing campaign and begin booking acts for Fyre Festival.
So really, this island kind of gave birth to the idea of let's kind of tie this in with our personal work.
Right. Let's promote our app
through the Bahamas.
And throw this big festival. It dawned on them, though, that the island didn't really have a great infrastructure. There wasn't a lot of sewage system. There wasn't a lot of drinkable water. They met a local fixer, is what they call him. His name was Delroy Jackson, and he told them the islands were a piss poor decision, a really bad place for an event of that magnitude.
Yeah.
They wanted to invite thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people to come to this music festival and help promote the app.
Yeah, they really should have listened to him. But what ends up happening in December of 2016, so this is shortly thereafter,
Yep.
as part of the organizers' plan to start getting social influence, to start selling tickets, they start to basically they're starting to sell tickets to something that they have no plan for.
Right.
They're starting to start promoting for that. They start to get a series of models.
Yep. Instagram influencers is what they call them.
But basically that's a model from what I understand.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just people who have a large following on social media.
Get a bunch of pretty girls that like to have their pictures taken.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically.
They're not hard to find.
So he starts hiring models to help promote the festival. He flies a bunch of them down, and he asks them to give him feedback for the launch of Fyre. According to Elle Magazine, ELLE, ticket buyers could look forward to a yoga beach, water trampolines, sea bobbing. What the fuck is sea bobbing?
I think it's like...
Is that where you pretend to be a buoy?
I don't know.
I'm really confused. Do we paint them orange with white stripes, like the whole deal?
Sea bobbing. It should be
Sea bobbing.
Yeah, sea blobbing.
Yeah,
more like
well,
it.
there was no fat people on that island, bro.
No, yeah.
No, God no, they're all beautiful.
Yeah, they weren't allowed on.
Yeah, right.
picky.
We are excluding fat people from this island.
At least in the documentaries.
Yeah, no shit, right? Let's be honest, there are no plus size models on Instagram that were invited to that.
No, and they should have been.
Not sorry.
But anyways,
So water trampoline, sea bobbing, whatever the fuck that is. Music, art, food, and $1 million of real treasure, in quotes, and jewels, I'm sorry, in quotes, hidden around the island. So it was like a giant treasure hunt.
So are you saying that they were planning on buying all this expensive silver, gold, diamonds, and all this shit?
Yeah, Billy's just going to piss out $1 million worth of money on...
Rocks and metal.
And
just scatter
jewelry,
it.
fucking necklaces, earrings, and just... Here you go bury this somewhere.
This does sound like a pretty crazy event.
It does sound fun. Now that we're talking about it, I want to buy a ticket.
Of course.
So December 12th of 2016, Fyre posts a now infamous video promising the best of everything. If you guys go and look for like the Fyre Festival trailer online, you'll see it. And it's pretty wild. It looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
it looks like so much fun. I would sell everything I have to go there.
Would you?
And
really?
There were people that actually did that.
Yeah. That's why I say that.
There were people that quit their jobs to go to that. No joke.
Yeah, totally crazy. And it was only a 3-day long event.
Yeah,
supposedly
it was just a weekend. It was a weekend in the islands, but the ad just made it so enticing. So in the ensuing days, worldwide blogs and social media pages start to talk about the Fyre Festival. Let's talk a little bit about that. This is really interesting. So these blogs start talking about Fyre. Oh, you know what? We're gonna postpone that. Let's take a beer break, and we're gonna talk about that later on because I believe that comes up.
Sure.
All right, son.
You got it. Beer break time.
I'm not coming back in with another beer. That's the first in a while.
Still working on number 1.
I know.
That's crazy.
I had one before I came over.
Sure.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah. This okay. Number 2. Yeah, you're right.
So where are we at?
So we were talking about Fyre Festival. They decided they're going to start promoting. January 4th, 2017. 2017 is when it all goes down. 2017 is when the festival is supposed to hahappen.
So this is the beginning of the year, January 4th.
Yes, this is the beginning of when it all starts to go downhill. January 4th, yeah, it's definitely there. Pepsi spokesmodel Kendall Jenner announced her involvement with Fyre with a post in which she said she was so hyped to announce my Good Music family as the first headliners for Fyre Festival. The post even included a way for her followers to use a special promo code, and you could get on the list for exclusive after parties.
Now, I had heard that she was wired like $20,000 to
money.
put that post up.
Oh, I feel like it was more than that.
Was it more than that?
I feel like it was more than that.
You can't buy Kendall Jenner for 20 G's to send a post.
Bitch, she won't even look at you for 20 G's. Are you serious? No, I don't
Anyways.
know you, Kendall. I'm sorry. So not only did Kendall Jenner post this, but within however long, it was very shortly within that time frame, a bunch of influencers, quote unquote, start posting an orange square on their Instagram pages. So now everybody's like, what's going on here? Why does everybody post this orange square?
And these influencers are the ones that they flew out to the island?
Probably.
Yeah,
That'd be my guess.
Because they were there setting up and kind of getting that feel, like you said.
Well, they were going there to provide feedback. Like, would this be a good place? You know, what do you think of the environment? Can this work? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And, of course, everyone's, like, on board.
Of course. I mean, they're
Right.
having a great time.
Right. So, scroll up. There we go. January 11th, 7 days after Kendall Jenner posts on Instagram about Fyre, Billboard reports that Major Lazer has joined the festival lineup. Now, who the fuck is Major Lazer? I've never heard of him or her.
I think it's a group.
I
think it's a group that does, like, they have, like, lights, and it's like a crazy show.
I'm assuming that you're going off of the name.
I think that's what it is. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I saw some. I think from what I saw looking this stuff up, that's what it looked like in pictures. Like they just some kind of crazy concert type show. But
Okay.
anyways, people like him.
Hey, whatever. So the next day, January 12th, organizers released a 2-minute announcement ad on YouTube that showcased the island's blue waters, highlighted by close-ups of models on a remote private island, in air quotes. They claim was once owned by Pablo Escobar. The spot promises the best in food, art, music, and adventure.
Oh, it's cool.
Amid footage of luxury yachts, jet skis, and, yet again, more models.
Now, supposedly they had bought this island for $10 million.
Yeah, and I believe Billy and Ja Rule owned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the deal was it was $10 million with $1 million down, but who knows if they even paid anything beyond that.
Yeah, no shit, right? While all this is going on, Billy is getting money from one investor, spending it to do one thing, and then owing back this other investor. He's basically compounding debt. He's robbing Peter to pay Paul.
And he's thinking this is all going to come back once this
it's all
hits.
it's all gonna be good. We're gonna make enough money to pay everyone back. Everyone's gonna make a ton of money. It's gonna be good. Don't worry about it. Billy is known for being an extremely positive person.
Yeah, you kind of get that. Don't want to look at the negative side of things. This is going to work.
Nope.
This is all good.
Nope. And even in the interviews that he had for one of the documentaries, it was really interesting. He tried to look at the positive in all of the negative. He always looked for the positive spin on things. Watching his interviews is really weird too, because if they asked him a question he didn't want to answer, he would just stare at them.
Just don't answer it.
Yeah, dead air. You know what I mean? Just, I'm not registering your existence right now.
Yeah.
It was really odd.
It's like, next.
Yep. So a couple months later in March, this is 2 months out from the show, March 12th, word leaks out about festival headliners, including Blink-182. Other names that soon joined the list included Disclosure, Migos, and Lil Yachty, and then a bunch of other people that I'm not going to bother to name. It was a lot.
I don't even know who these people are.
A lot of these people were booked for the Pirates Cove EDM stage, whatever that is.
I was going to say, what exactly is that?
EDM is electronic dance music, I'm assuming.
Sure. So I think that might be
You're
with
definitely showing your age. Sure.
Well, no. I think, because of what I saw, it kind of looked like that's what they were trying to do.
Well,
I understand it's like lights and
right.
lasers and
that's
all that kind of
place
shit.
that people go take psychedelics and go hang out. That's one of those weird places.
Well, it sounded like this was anything goes kind of a thing that they were trying to market.
Yeah, once they got there.
Yeah.
So 2 days after that, March 14th, a talent producer by the name of Chloe Gordon arrives at the island. This is about 6 weeks before the festival is supposed to take place. And she was very dismayed at what she found. The situation was awful. She states in New York Magazine, and this was after everything went down. I was excited at first. Flying in, the water looked beautiful, but I was almost immediately warned not to go near it because of a rampant shark problem.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome. Beach party with sharks. That was an omen I regrettably missed. After we landed, we drove to the festival site to assess our goods. When we arrived, these beers, man, they're only 5 point whatever. When we arrived, my initial reaction was, This was not a model-filled private K that was owned by Pablo Escobar. This was a development lot covered in gravel with a few tractors scattered around. There was not enough space to build all the tents and the green rooms they would need. There was not a long, beautiful beach populated by swimming pigs. There were, however, a lot of sandflies that kept me looking like I had smallpox.
Because what's kind of crazy is while they're promoting this and they're selling tickets, they're selling packages.
Yeah, and these packages got super expensive, too. They had one package that was for a villa.
Yeah.
And it was $250,000, I think.
Yeah, and I know a villa is not a tent. It's not. It's like a beach house, I believe. And other things. They had other like kind of more in town kind of things, but they're promising any kind of accommodation you can think of. Basically,
They probably had it.
they were even promising tents too.
Yeah.
For those that
Oh,
didn't
and there
wanna,
were plenty of tents.
for you broke motherfuckers that are just dropping $100,000 to come here. We got a tent for you.
Yeah, I don't know who exactly has $100,000 to go to a festival on a deserted island.
From what I understand, people were paying even more. It was like, because just to get there and everything. And he even did things like he had these cards. It kind of reminded me of when we went to Disney. After they sold the tickets and they were having a hard time to find accommodations and figuring things out. Because we're at this point here where things are not really coming together quickly or in some cases at all.
Oh.
So he started selling this idea of, well, you can buy these bracelets and all your money's going to be on it, almost like the Magnesis type card.
Yep.
And he sent this email out to people saying, you know what, most people are just putting, about $3,000 on it.
Yep.
At
and this
minimum.
is a cashless event.
Right.
Yep.
Right. And so they're doing these kind of things as this is building up.
Right. They're trying to garner as much cash as they can because no one's getting paid.
So when you're having a hard time with investors, you just take the money from your customers, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Here, put the money on these prepaid bracelets that we're in charge of, too, on top of it.
Yeah, right.
Cashless event.
Yeah,
Makes a lot
okay.
of sense.
Just give me a bunch of money. That's basically what that was. She also wrote that her 11-person production team was packed with inexperienced people who were told before they arrived that things had been in motion for a while, but nothing's been done. No vendors had been secured. A month out, no vendors had been secured. No stages were rented, and no transportation was set up for people to get to and from the show. Frankly, we were standing on an empty gravel pit, and no one had any idea how we were going to build a festival village from scratch.
It's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Artists reportedly complained about not getting paid, and time was ticking. Hello, we're this far out. We gotta make our schedule for the year too. Where's my money?
Now, he was doing things like making promises to artists for several millions of dollars, and I think the total of it was something like $28 million.
Oh my God, it was a lot.
But he told investors that it was only like $4.1 million.
Oh, he was notorious for
lying to the investors.
Fucking his numbers up. Yeah,
he's asking more money from different people. He's doing all this shit.
Yeah, I think at the end of everything, he had pretty close to like 100 different investors.
Yeah, I mean,
there was a lot of people that put money into this festival. She also says that some planners on the ground asked if it was perhaps best to just roll everyone's ticket over to 2018 and try to figure it out for next year instead.
And why not?
Right.
I mean, if I think at this point they're all thinking they're going to pull this off.
Oh, absolutely. They all still thought it was going to happen
at this point.
Right.
I know a lot of them jump ship later as far as thinking that, but why not extend it? You know what? You could easily extend it. I mean, it would piss a lot of people off that are like, "Oh, I took that off from work," or blah blah blah. But
right. But
it's better than
do it right or do it wrong.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Unfortunately, for those people that were thinking smart, we should probably put it off till next year. Ja Rule was like, "Fuck no." To quote him, "To living like movie stars, partying like rock stars, and fucking like porn stars." That was a toast after the decision was made to plow ahead.
To just proceed and not put anything off. Keep going with this project.
Yeah, exactly. Sometime within that month of March of 2017, the first tweet was sent out from an account on Twitter at Fyre Fraud, which was run by a venture capitalist named Calvin Wells. In the Hulu documentary, he says that he got fed up with trying to warn people, so he started posting all of his findings on Twitter. A month before the festival guests arrived, he made a tweet that had evidence that the festival wasn't actually on a private beach, but it was actually an undeveloped lot next to the Sandals Resort on the island.
Yeah, because what it ended up happening, one of the changes was they actually came to the realization that they were not going to be able to fit people on that first island that they initially thought they were going to fit them on.
No, they would have to bring them to other surrounding islands.
They even kind of explored ideas of bringing yachts in and having all these people go back to yachts. Could you imagine everybody's drunk and on drugs and all that, and they're going to get little dinghies and go fucking out to their yacht to go sleep?
That's not going to happen.
Well, it wasn't going to happen. So what they did was, but that's what they marketed. They marketed the sale of an island experience, of a small private island experience.
Right.
So then they brought them to the Grand or Great Exuma Island.
Yep.
And this was just like a little peninsula on this much larger island. But what they did, even with their brochures, they photoshopped all the other stuff out.
Oh, yeah.
To make it look like it was an island.
Yep. And it was actually just, if you look at it, it was actually like 3 little undeveloped lots,
like
all
they were
next to each other.
Like they were planning on building there, or something was there before and it was destroyed.
Right.
Kind of a look.
Yep, exactly. Excuse me. Jesus. So moving into April 2nd, the Wall Street Journal sounds a public alarm. One of the first. They publish an article titled at up to $250,000 a ticket, Island Music Festival woos wealthy to stay afloat. So it sounds like the festival is losing a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Trying to get wealthy people to come buy tickets. The article also said that some of the acts had not yet been paid, while others had been partially paid and some fully, but that the festival was coming around to making payments, albeit slowly. It also stated that some of the ticket holders who had purchased VIP tickets were getting very nervous because concierge had not been very attentive in getting them their itinerary. So a couple weeks out, people are looking, hey, when do I get tickets for? What am I flying to? What are we flying out of? I need to be able to know these things. I want to go. I have tickets.
They're starting to look for their information. They're starting to piece their trip together, and they're not getting the information or the help that they need.
Right, exactly. So this is like a month out. April 26th, Vanity Fair asks a quote-unquote very important question. Can a critical mass of Victoria's Secret models and a Hadid, what the hell is that?
I don't know.
Basically, can this festival give Bahamas tourism like an instant boost?
Yeah, because the thing with this was that this event being held in the Bahamas, think about all the work that it created for the Bahamian people.
Right, exactly.
You know, they were paying these people to, well,
they weren't paying these people.
In theory, they were going to be paying these people for all the work that they're doing and all the outside sales. And imagine,
and this should bring people in after this experience. People might want to come back and spend money on the island.
And you know what was interesting? They booked this concert to be at the same time as a Bahamian holiday.
Yeah.
And that island was already going to be packed.
Yeah.
For people coming to, enjoy that.
Yeah, let's compete with the local holiday.
Yeah, well, I don't think they looked into it. I just think it was just by chance.
No, not really. Vanity Fair had spoken to Billy McFarland at that point, and he said, "We didn't just want to be a tech company that was pure enterprise with no customer awareness. So a festival was a great idea. Was a great way to go and do that." They claim that the Bahamian tourism officials were totally on board and helped provide services wherever they could. They even asked the University of the Bahamas, which, newsflash to me, I didn't realize they had a college.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Well, I mean, I know they have a college, but I didn't realize they had a college on the island. That's kind of cool. Yeah. They even asked the culinary division from the college to help cater and prepare food, and a lot of local businesses helped pitch in too.
Sure, I mean, think about all the money this was going to bring in. This was let's make this a success. They needed it to be a success. The people of the Bahamas,
right? Exactly. They asked Ja Rule and McFarland, how they convinced so many people to buy tickets without an actual lineup. And they said the pair personally invited 400 influencers in various sectors. Their only job was to post an orange fire-like square to Instagram, like we talked about earlier. And it was supposed to be set at a certain time and a certain day, and it announced the festival to the public. Among those who reportedly complied was a professional surfer, Anastasia Ashley, Miami Dolphins All-Pro safety Mike Thomas, and a ton of models on Instagram.
You think he promised all these people tickets to the concert?
Oh, I'm sure. There was some sort of perk, you know what I mean?
I'm sure.
General admission tickets were sold out before a lineup was actually announced.
And those are the cheap ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? There's no lineup and it's already sold out. You have to put something good together.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Woodstock was a huge event. This is something that people still talk about today.
Okay, so see, I'm so glad you brought up Woodstock.
This was like Woodstock, but way better.
Supposedly.
Way better. I mean, and Woodstock would have been, I mean, of course, we're too young for that, but it sounded like it was fucking awesome, all these crazy stories that you hear. And this was going to even be that much bigger.
Well, I'm so glad you brought up Woodstock because it came up in one of these documentaries anyway. There was a Woodstock 1999, and apparently it went to like complete shit. It turned into like riots and really bad shit.
I remember that.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, just seeing it on TV as a kid.
Yeah, you weren't there at 10 years old or however old you were at the time. Where did we leave off?
April 27th.
April 27th. Okay.
The day before the festival was actually supposed to begin.
Yep. Are we sure we're at April 27th?
I believe so, sir.
Okay, you are correct. Yep.
Yes.
This screen is very helpful.
Hey.
I think it's just me drinking too much.
I think so too, Jake.
Shut up.
You're doing a great job. Let's have a round of applause for Jake.
Oh, hold on. I have a thing for that, too. Here, clap while I find the clap track thing. Hold on. I got it. No, maybe I don't. Boo for not finding the clap track.
Jake, you suck.
No. No, that's not what I wanted. God damn it. There we go. Golf clap. Found it.
All right. The day before. People are excited.
Pumped. Getting on planes. They're like, let's go. I'm ready to go party. April 27th. A day before the festival is supposed to start.
Yeah.
Blink-182 goes on Twitter and says, regrettably, after much consideration, we want to let you know that we will not be performing at Fyre Fest in the Bahamas this weekend or next weekend. We're not confident that we would have what we need to give you the quality of performances we always give our fans.
They didn't elaborate much beyond that, though.
Right. People are already on the plane.
Yeah, they're headed there.
People are...
Big concert, big event.
A lot of people are in planes. People are heading to the airport. They're already booked. They've already got all this money invested. They're ready to go. And then they see that. And people start to be like, that's not good. But people still get on planes. And they go.
Well, yeah, because this is their vacation.
Right. People literally sold everything they had, quit their jobs. People went nuts.
I mean, imagine what a lousy time in the Bahamas would be like. So they're thinking, Blink-182 is not going, but we're still going to the Bahamas.
Right. Who listens to Blink-182?
Yeah.
They're so 1990s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, I disagree. I just picked up their new album a couple months ago.
They have a new album?
Yeah, I know. Isn't it weird? I didn't think they'd have a new one either. I was going to get their greatest hits with, like, Damn It, and there's a bunch of them. Anyway.
Did they title it I Can't Believe We're Not Dead Yet?
No, they titled it California, which is basically the same thing. Sorry.
Or Fyre Festival.
Yeah, no shit, right? So about the same time that Blink-182 bailed, visitors started getting to the Fyre Festival.
So they're landing there, you're saying?
Yeah, they're saying they're landing on the islands. The first 3 planes were sent to a neighboring resort while other visitors arrived and started flooding Reddit and Twitter with complaints that the grounds were not ready when they arrived. They found a half-finished site with disaster relief tents, quote-unquote, FEMA tents.
You know, I saw this funny video where there was this old man that was driving a bus, a Bohemian guy, you know, being paid for this. He's picking people up at the airport type. Yeah. And he's saying as they're on the bus, oh, you guys don't know what you got yourself into.
Yeah, that was a great video.
This is this is gonna be great. You're really gonna love this. And he was kinda they're already kinda like seeing these weird posts.
Right.
And then this guy is saying these comments. They're pulling up, and you know what they see? FEMA tents. And people that were on the bus, they at that point they're like, I don't give a shit that I spent thousands of dollars. Some of them were like, turn this bus around.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people that were like, take me the fuck home. And what's crazy, before we even get there, we need to back up a little bit. The crews putting the show together worked all night the night before, okay? And this is just to add to how crazy this is. They were driving home at like 3 a.m. trying to get a couple hours of sleep before people started getting to the island. And it started fucking monsooning. Downpour. All of the stuff they had built, all of the tents, all of the mattresses, destroyed. Soaked.
Yeah.
Gone.
They even had mattresses outside that were still on pallets that were not even in tents.
Yeah, and they had them scattered about the land, half in plastic bags.
We definitely got to get a picture of the FEMA tents on
We're going to have
Facebook.
The thing about this story is there's so much media. It's so great. It's going to be great for that. So I'll let you handle that.
Yeah.
So they find disaster relief tents, basically, containing plastic wrap mattresses instead of well-appointed rooms. Shocker.
Yeah.
Kiosks left unattended with crates of alcohol sitting out in the sun and no running water. Billy finally makes an appearance as his crew is out, sorting people out, being like, hey, you can have this tent, you can have this tent, you can have this tent.
Trying to look like they know what they're doing.
Trying to make it pull together for whatever, whatever's here. And he decides to tell all his guests, pick a fucking tent. Have at it. You go.
Yeah, just free for all on the tents.
Yep, just go find them.
He told his sound guy, just crank some music up super loud. So he's blasting the music as people are running around looking for tents.
That must have been hysterical to watch.
Other employees are going to this guy and they're saying, hey, man,
the fuck are you doing?
Turn the fucking music down. This is nuts. We're trying to check these people into whatever the hell these things are. And we can't hear them. And then Billy would come back, say, hey, crank the music up. So not only do you have to envision all these people running around these tents looking for an open space.
Oh, yeah, fighting each other, being like, no, this tent's for me and my 5 people.
Dude, and people were doing shit like, this is our tent. Let's go to the other tents that others haven't found and knife them so nobody's around us. Let's go go take a shit on that mattress or something.
Yeah, they didn't want neighbors. That was their excuse. It was stupid.
Well, you know what? They're entitled millennials.
Don't even.
That's it. Okay.
Don't even. That's our biggest market. I will fuck you up. The guests are also served these infamous cheese sandwiches, and you got to put a picture of that up. Because that is some fucking grade A horse shit.
Yeah, with some soggy bread with some cheese that was left in the Bohemian sun.
Yeah, it's like Kraft singles on fucking half toast.
Wilted lettuce and at least the tomato looked like a nice thick slab.
I'd rather eat Taco Bell.
I would have hucked all that shit out and just eaten the tomato.
Yeah, I don't even think I would have eaten that. By midnight, a lot of attendees just was like, fuck this, I'm out. And they started to board flights home, only to find that the airport was closed.
Well, yeah, it's the Bahamas.
Well, duh. It's late at night, number one. And number two, there's a bunch of you on an island. There's only so many planes that go to that island.
I heard they put them all into one big room and locked them in.
Yeah, they put them all into one room. They locked them in. And one guy, I don't know if he died. He didn't die, but he had a really bad reaction and like passed out, and it was not good.
Well, you know what? They were in there for a while, and there was no food, no water, and it was almost deplorable conditions, and I'm sure it was extremely hot.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
There was even a mention in one of the documentaries how they had let a bunch of people on the plane, and then the head count didn't match up, so they made everybody get off the plane. And then they let them get back on the plane, okay?
Yeah.
And then by the time they go to take off, the crew had been on duty too long. So they had to take them back off the plane and put them back in the room, and that's when they got locked in the room.
Nobody was ready for this, including Billy, who didn't really know what to do other than he would bark orders. He'd jump on his four-wheeler, drive around, come back, bark some more orders.
Yeah, exactly. He just kind of lived his own life.
Yeah.
He's way out there. So the day that was the day before the festival was supposed to start, correct?
That was the day of, as people are showing up. I mean, it was
that's right.
Yeah, it was a 3-day thing. Now, this would be April 28th would be the second
day of the festival.
Of this. Yeah.
Okay, you can take that one.
Organizers admit defeat and cancel the event amid a flood of reporters from disgruntled attendees on the grounds and the shockingly poor conditions.
Yeah, they were pretty shocking.
Yeah, they basically Billy and his people, they had released a statement stating that due to the circumstances out of our control, the physical what.
Out of our control.
Okay. Yeah.
People were telling you 6 months in advance, dude, this ain't going to happen.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Out of our control.
Out of our control. That just sounds like I don't want to take responsibility for my own fuck up.
Nah, the guy's been lying all along, so we might as well just keep lying. Even in his apology.
24 point something million worth of fraud here.
He states that the physical infrastructure was not in place on time, and they were unable to fulfill on that vision safely and enjoyably for their guests. Oh, that's a nice apology.
Oh, thanks.
I think a nice way to apologize would be to give people back their money.
Well, not only that, but when he does that, it makes me think of that South Park episode where Randy or whoever's trying to talk to Comcast, and he's like rubbing his nipples, the guy at Comcast, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry.
But Jake, I'm feeling better about this because he says the festival is being postponed until we can further assess if and when we are able to create the high-quality experience we envisioned.
Well, it ain't going to be on that island.
That's crazy.
I know, right? The Bohemian Ministry of Tourism issued their own statement too, and they blamed the festival's disaster on Fyre's organizers. They said the event organizers assured us that all measures were taken to ensure a safe and successful event, but clearly they did not have the capacity to execute an event of this scale. A team of Ministry of Tourism representatives is on the island.
Think they wear funny gowns and funny hats?
I don't know, but I kind of want to be part of this team.
I know. I picture them kind of almost looking like the Papal.
The Papal.
All of them lined up, bunch of Papples.
Yeah, right.
Papal on the beach.
You fucked me all up. A team of Ministry of Tourism representatives. Bleh. That's a hard one to say. Is on the island to assist with the organization of a safe return to all Fyre Festival visitors. It is our hope that the Fyre Festival visitors would consider returning to the islands of the Bahamas in the future to truly experience all of our beauty. Ja Rule decides he's going to open his big mouth on Twitter, and he denies any wrongdoing, which is bullshit. We are working right now on getting everyone off the island safe. That is my immediate concern. I will make a statement soon. I'm heartbroken at this moment, my partners, and I wanted this to be an amazing event. It was not a scam. Holy shit, there's no punctuation. I can't read this. It was not a scam as everyone is reporting. I don't know how everything left. Everything went so left. But I'm working to... Oh my God, dude, use some fucking punctuation. I can't read this. But I'm working to make it right by making sure everyone is refunded.
Hey, there's 3 periods.
Dot.
Yeah, just mix them up somewhere.
Yeah, continue your thought. Just make this one giant fucking long run-on ... I truly apologize as this is not my fault.
Safe, not a scam, and not my fault is in caps. So.
And they're all in caps. Okay. But I'm taking responsibility. If it's not your fault, then why are you taking responsibility? I'm deeply sorry to everyone who was inconvenienced.
That's a major inconvenience.
Inconvenienced. Hey, Adam, I have a question for you. Do you think selling everything you own and quitting your job to go to a party in the Bahamas that doesn't end up happening is an inconvenience?
You know what? I was inconvenienced today when I was at a gas station waiting for this lady to scratch her fucking tickets and get out of my damn way so I could get home.
Why do you have to scratch your fucking lottery tickets at the fucking register? I hate that.
That, Jake, was an inconvenience to me.
That's called inconvenience. This is life-ending for some people, which is stupid. If you're dumb enough to sell everything you own and quit your job to go to this festival, you kind of deserve it. Not even kind of. You deserve it.
Dumbass.
You know better. Or you should know better, and if you don't, then I'm sorry.
I'm just going to make an open statement.
Why am I sorry for that?
Dumbasses, from what it sounds like to me, was going to listen to some shitty music. For the most part, don't hate me.
I don't hate you. I don't know what they were going to play there except for Blink-182.
Laser shit bag. Whatever the hell they were
As long
called.
as they played their old shit, I don't care.
Go see them in your hometown.
Or just go in my car and listen to them. I have one of the CDs in the rental.
Even better.
Oh, yeah. I love that rental. That thing's great.
Are we at the point now where... I know they make a statement.
They made a joint statement. So a short time after Ja Rule opens his big fucking mouth, Ja Rule and McFarlane released a joint statement to Billboard apologizing for the mess and promising full refunds as well as free VIP passes for all people for next year's Fyre Festival.
Wow.
Really? How are you going to give away that many VIP passes on a festival that you couldn't even execute the first time? And
how are you going to give refunds when you don't have any money?
That's a great question.
You spent all the money.
Yeah, that sounds like a problem that you're going to have to figure out, you know? So May 2017 is when shit starts to really come down. The festival was a flop. Billy knows he's in trouble. Ja Rule knows he's in trouble. They're all like, fuck. May 1st, reports emerge that Ja Rule and Billy McFarland are banned from ever attempting another festival in the Bahamas. In addition, so no more Fyre Festival, sorry. In addition, celebrity lawyer Mark Garagos, who represents Chris Brown and Michael Jackson.
Oh, those are good people. You know what? This is the lawyer you want.
This is the lawyer I want. The one that gets off the pedophile.
Yeah, because he's going to get you off on this shit.
Again, no pun intended. Files a proposed $100 million class action lawsuit against the Fyre team on behalf of their client, Daniel Jung. The suit accuses the organizers of fraud, citing the fest's lack of adequate food, water, shelter, and medicinal care, created a dangerous and panicked situation among attendees. The Bahamian Ministry of Tourism releases a statement the same day in defense of the Grand Exuma, following numerous reports about the island's alleged lack of infrastructure. Quote, Exuma is one of the most beautiful and developed islands in the Bahamas, and we in the ministry are so disappointed that there have been false claims surrounding the island.
That's interesting.
We want to ensure that all stakeholders and guests know of the development and infrastructural capacity of this island.
Yeah, because these people were being brought from the airport to a shithole. And
It's
so
not-
they're
it
like,
wasn't really a shithole. It's
dude, it was a bunch of no, dude. They were brought to a concrete slab with a bunch of tents. That's a
Okay,
shithole.
if you're talking
they're brought from
about-
an airport to a shithole.
Okay, if you're talking about
They
that
weren't
specific,
brought to the Grand Exuma, the city, all the beautiful. They were brought from airport to a shithole.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified.
No,
because
that's
you
what I mean.
can't say
So
the
these
whole
people are
island
saying,
is that,
"Oh, we
because
got
it's
to the
not.
Grand Exuma and it was a shithole,"
Right,
because that's what they saw of it.
right. They saw the shithole
And so
part
think
of
about
it.
how that could potentially kill their tourism.
Right,
You know,
because
when they're
there's-
like, look, yeah, that there's that shithole, but look at this, 95% of this beautiful place here.
yeah, exactly. And then they have. Okay, no, I see what you're saying. Because they got to this, they got to see 5% of this beautiful island, and everywhere else is awesome.
Yeah.
But they went to this one bad spot.
Yeah.
I can see that.
It'd be like if you went to Jamaica and just went downtown and that's all you saw.
Have you been to Jamaica downtown?
From what I understand, it's nothing like
It's not like downtown
like the
Lewiston.
resorts or what you're
Knox
promised.
Street.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the next day, May 2nd, a second class action lawsuit is filed against organizers. This time it's in the Los Angeles Superior Court. The defendants in this class action lawsuit claim that that people were tricked into attending the event by paying more than 400 social media influencers and celebrities to promote it. So at that same time, reports start emerging that the organizers of the festival, including Billy himself, have fired off cease and desist orders. At least one went to a disgruntled festival goer claiming that their gripes that quote unquote, communications on the island were non-existent and there was nothing but disaster relief tents that were on the verge of blowing over. They claim that these claims are untrue and could incite violence, rioting, or civil unrest. If the fan in question did not take the post down and someone innocent does get hurt as a result, quote unquote, the attorneys promised, Fyre Festival will hold you accountable and responsible.
That's strange.
Yeah, why? Okay, number one, why are you upset about a festival goer saying some bad shit about you when you put on a bad festival? That sounds like a you problem. Sounds like you don't want the negative press because you fucked up and you don't want to admit it.
Yeah, that's
what it sounds like to me. 2 days later, May 4th, a third set of attendees files a class action suit alleging negligence, fraud, and violation of consumer protection law. Two attendees paid $1,027 for their tickets, including airfare from Miami. According to their lawsuit, they uploaded an additional $900 and $1,000 respectively to their wristbands, the ones you were talking about.
So these are the economy guests.
Yeah,
this is
these
not a terrible amount of money.
Right, but $2,000 is still a lot to go to a festival. You know
but
what
some
I mean?
people were paying over $200,000 to get there.
Oh yeah. These wristbands were supposed to enable a cashless event. Both of these men say they haven't been able to access those funds since, so they just lost their money on these wristbands.
Yeah, because I think he was taking that money to use in other places.
Right. Go back up. Right there. One of the men also claims that he was robbed of his clothes and his headphones on the islands because the defendants failed to provide security. Another suit comes from a festival goer in New Jersey that same day, saying that organizers violated the state's Consumer Fraud Act. May 5th, National Event Services, which was a event staffing company out of Pennsylvania that was hired to provide medical services for Fyre, they joined the suit and filed a lawsuit in a Philadelphia court accusing Fyre of breach of contract and fraud. They claim that organizers didn't pay the cancellation insurance despite and understanding that they had not properly funded the event. And they were seeking $250,000 in damages.
Wow.
They also claim that they arrived on the Grand Exuma's islands a few days before the concert was scheduled to kick off. And they said staff members immediately discovered that accommodations were uninhabitable, including bug infestation, blood-stained mattresses, and no air conditioning. and that the defendants had failed to provide proper facilities for staff to provide medical services.
Could you imagine how hot it would have been in those tents?
Oh, for sure. And then you're trying to provide medical services to these people?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Totally crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take this next one here?
Yeah, no. On May 7th, another class action lawsuit is filed, but this time it was one in Miami by a North Carolina couple, Kenneth and Emily Reel, seeking $5 million from Ja Rule and McFarland.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the Fest Public Relations Agency, 420 West LLC, an advertising company.
42 West.
42 West, yeah.
And an advertising company, Matt Projects LLC. The two agencies are dragged into the mess with attorneys for the couple arguing that the companies didn't take any steps, let alone reasonable steps, to ensure that their promotional materials and marketing campaigns were accurate.
So they're potentially getting sued because they printed the material, that they publicized it?
Yeah, and it wasn't even remotely close to what was actually going on.
That's crazy because they're just being paid by a client.
Right.
But hey, that's just how the world works.
That's just how it comes down, unfortunately. So a couple more days later, May 9th, another suit is filed against Ja Rule and Billy in Manhattan by two disgruntled attendees. They claim in their class action lawsuit that the two engaged in breach of contract, negligent misrepresentation of claims, unjust enrichment, and violation of New York State business law. They also claim that the organizers kept offering VIP upgrades and encouraging attendees to put money on their cashless Fyre band bracelets, even after it was clear there would be no concert. It alleges that they told artists that the festival had been canceled well before attendees were informed.
That's crazy.
Why would they tell artists that they're going to cancel the show and not tell festival goers? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it's easy to cancel the artists. Much more easier to do that than it is to piss people off.
Is it though?
Well, in Billy's case, because he's been trying to dodge the inevitable the entire time.
Yeah, but is it easier to? Well, I guess it is easier to just push 50 people off than push 50,000 people off.
Now, on May 12th, there was some audio that was leaked, basically stating that it was kind of interesting because it didn't state that they were that he was firing them, but that they're
wait, who's he and who's them?
So what had happened? You're right. Take it back. There's some audio that's released of McFarland speaking to some of the employees of Fyre.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah. So what he said to them was basically something to the effect of, "Your employment has ceased." And by saying that, he's not saying you're fired. He's not saying, just saying, it's you're still employed, but you're not going to be getting paid temporarily. Is basically what that means. Is what he was saying. 404
not found. That doesn't make
sense.
Yeah,
right. Well, this one here, he's not firing them or letting them off.
I'm not gonna work
you're
for free.
You're employees, but you're not getting paid.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna work for free.
So he releases that so that it makes it hard for them to get unemployment because the company is liable for some of that. So this company doesn't even have anything to even cover that.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
All right.
Very interesting.
The quote unquote, we will not be firing, or we're not firing anyone. Right. We're just letting you know that there will be no payroll in the short term.
Kind of how our government works sometimes.
Yeah, right. So this guy's grade A scum already. I'm already not impressed.
Oh, he's been this way the whole podcast.
Yeah, no shit, right? All right. I'm going to let you finish this.
No, in July, McFarland was arrested, taken by FBI agents for wire fraud. This could have ended up costing him up to 20 years in prison. Mm-hmm. Then he was set out on bail. It was a pretty high amount of bail too. I can't remember exactly what it was. At the time, he was also being sued for $100 million in these class action lawsuits.
Holy shit!
Now, in October,
all
that kind of came to a conclusion because of the 20 years he could have potentially gotten. Yep. He ends up only getting 6 years in prison.
This is October 2018.
2018.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Everything has to go to court and all that.
Right.
I don't believe Ja Rule gets in a whole lot of trouble.
Not that I'm aware of.
I couldn't really find anything on that. But, of the possible 20
Look at his Twitter. What do you mean? Is he still tweeting?
It's just funny
and he's not in trouble.
It just shows how rich people, they live at a different set of laws than we live at.
Oh, for sure.
Because if it was somebody like me that did this, it would be fucking like 50 years in prison.
Oh, yeah.
This peckerhead here
you know what? I would be
6 years.
really, really, really impressed if you could pull that off.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
You know what, Adam? I want you to throw a Fyre Festival right here in the shed.
I'm just saying, somebody like me does something stupid, they throw the book at you. This guy steals money from thousands of people. lives it up, makes all these promises. He gets 6 years in prison.
Yeah, right.
That's just how the judicial system works here. I mean, this guy was, a complete fraudulent person, selling tickets to things he didn't have, promising people accommodations that were not even possible, and knowing it the entire time.
You have a lot of love for the justice system. I can hear it in your voice.
Well, it just never seems to work out. I mean, selling fake tickets and all this, and this guy gets 6 years.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was probably in some prison camp, some kind of easier setup for people.
They're not going to put someone who's used to what do they call that? White collar lifestyle.
Yeah.
In a blue collar prison. You know what I mean? Or even worse, a no collar prison.
Now,
so we'll just speed through this because there's not much left. Basically, Billy's in jail. Later on, earlier this year, 2019, people are still trying to recover some money. Their branding, or they're not their branding. Their company that promoted the show, Jerry Media, gets sued and gets in a bunch of trouble. They have a lot of negative press. Blah 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 blah. Basically, everyone's really 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 pissed off at Billy and this whole idea. Other groups and artists that have been basically chased after for money include a company called DNA Model Management, Soulja Boy, Waka Flocka Flame, Creative Artists Agency, and United Talent Agency. This prosecutor that's going after all of this money is trying to get to the bottom of $5.3 million worth of payments. By the time all of Billy's crimes were finished, Billy defrauded investors of $27.4 million.
Ouch.
That's a lot of
money.
What would you do with $27.4 million, Adam?
I would not do a Fyre Festival.
No?
I would use that money to make money.
You would use
or
that
never
money
to work again.
Well, you could use that money to buy a nicer shed with insulation.
Dude, I would have the best shed.
Yeah, well, we would take the shed and we would put it inside the house. We would literally have to build a house and put the shed in a big room in the house.
Maybe we could get people to invest in our shed. I mean, if Billy's able to get people to invest into a fake concert.
Well, we can. Here's what we do. We build an app. We build a shed app, right? And we throw a music festival on the shed app. You pay $5 and you get to watch the shed festival on the shed app.
And we can offer shed credit cards with shed rewards.
Right, exactly. You get exclusive looks inside the shed. When no one's there.
How about a concierge?
No.
Could offer some of that? No? Okay.
No. That's too much work for me.
Well, this was kind of an interesting story, a little bit different than our normal type of story that we do, and nonetheless
I like this story
interesting.
A lot. It's very interesting to me. I like financial crime and stuff like that more than dead people, personally. Yeah. Dead people are okay. Hold on. Wow, that sounded really bad out of context. Dead people stories are okay, I guess, but this type of crime where no one dies, I like, because you can see these people now. You know what I mean? You can see how it affects them later on. It doesn't really affect Billy all that much, at least it seems that way. But hey, some people have hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this case, I take comfort in knowing that most of the people that got ripped off were wealthy people anyway, so fuck them.
Wow. That's not going to get us an audience.
I prefer killers.
I apologize for Adam.
Yeah, right. There's not too many wealthy people listening to the shed.
How do you know?
Who knows? Possibly.
How do you know?
Maybe we got some Fyre listeners.
Maybe. It's possible.
Fyre concert goers.
Yeah, exactly.
So what do we got left here, man?
Nothing. That's it. There's our story.
Yeah.
The end.
Hope you liked it. What do we got for social media?
All kinds of it. I don't have it up.
Well, if you don't know it, then you should know it.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Get to knowing it right now. Social media, Facebook, Stories from the Shed, Instagram, Stories from the Shed Podcast, YouTube, Stories from the Shed Podcast. I hate Twitter. I don't even know why I bring it up, but
it's there.
Yeah, whatever. Do you check it?
I do.
Do you? Okay. Yeah. At least one of us does. Stories from Shed. Email us. What
sftspodcast.
Well, what are they email us about?
Story ideas, what you like, what you don't like, what we need to do to change, what we need to do to be better.
Jake, stop drinking so much.
Tell us suggestions, whatever you want.
Or drink better beer.
Oh, we're
This
drinking
one
the
was
best
actually
beer.
really
We
good.
drink good beer every week. That's
Can
one
I-
thing we cannot improve on.
Can I up my rating at the very end of the show?
Sure you can. After you've
Okay.
had a few, they always get better.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Ooh, it's climbed.
4.5.
Delicious.
Yep. All right. You heard the email, but in case you didn't, sftspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.